Assalamu alaikum, this is Sania Kadir from 101 Incredible Women Seas of Pakistan. Today, the incredible lady that is sitting with us is Miss Maryam Iqbal, and she is the president of the Handicrafts Association of Pakistan. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam. Sania, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm good, and I'm so glad that you've taken out the time, and 101 has taken out the time to interview me, for which I'm very grateful to you, your team, and Ma'am Zishan Zia.
Thank you so much. So, ma'am, we are going to delve into your journey. So, we'll start by how you started.
I'll go a little into my childhood, because that will tell you a lot as to how my personality was shaped, and my experiences and my journey, and all the challenges and achievements that I've achieved. So basically, I belong to Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, and I was born and brought up in Peshawar, in different parts of Pakistan. As my father was in the army, I come from a military family. So traveling from one place to another, calling no place your own, shaped my journey of being an adventurous woman, trying on different projects later on in my life. I think that's what shaped my personality. Very earlier on, in my early 20s, I got a scholarship to Cardiff University, and I stayed back in the UK for 12 years, where I worked for the corporate sector. I started my career in the media as a voiceover artist for BBC Asian Radio.
Okay, that's great.
And I worked for some South Asian channels, going on to what my, I have a degree in human resources. And I'm a lawyer by profession as well, a corporate lawyer.
Okay.
And my mother was an educationist, so that she always instilled in us that it's never too late to learn, knowledge or book. So I have 6 degrees to myself.
Okay, that's great. Like, you have a strong academic record as well.
And I'd want to study all my life, but it's something that's
runs in you. Okay.
Yes. So again in the UK, I lived in different cities of the UK, and living in London, which is a very interesting place to live in. It's a mini universe in itself, because you've got people coming from all over the world, bringing in their food and culture, and knowledge-wise, it's so sort of
so,
overwhelming.
like, were you always interested in being in the corporate sector, or it was change?
That's a very interesting question. We were just discussing earlier on that most of us, when we start earlier on in our lives, our parents want us to be on good jobs and earn good money. And if we tell them we want to do a business, that's not something that is, definitive, and they have their reservations about it. So even though I worked in the corporate sector, alhamdulillah, working in the media and then in human resources for one of UK's largest housing association, and then I worked in the recruitment sector, coming back to Pakistan, working for the CPEC cell as a liaison manager for women industrial parks, working for the UN Women and Women Economic Empowerment and the Asian Development Bank with the local government to initiate women business centers for women. So that, and I always wanted to come back to Pakistan. I know everyone wants to go abroad, but after some time, when you're in uni and you're experimenting and you're young, you start questioning yourself, what's my identity? Where do I come from? Because you're exposed to so much. So, and my father, my parents were on their own, and he wasn't well, and for personal reasons I had to come back home. And as I just told you, that all these, it's just God's will, how he planned my journey. So I started working a lot on women economic empowerment, like with UN Women.
That's right.
And that's where I started my own brand a decade ago.
Okay. So, like, how did you start your brand? Do you have a degree in the fashion industry or not?
Yes, I did a diploma in handbags and shoe design from the London College of Fashion.
That's great.
So I know how to make handbags and shoes. I'm a good pattern cutter, and I'm one of the few women working in the leather industry in Pakistan and in KP. So I've got a little cottage industry, and I'm training other women in the leather industry in KP. So I'm very passionate about, working in KP, because that's where the women need you more.
Yeah. So you want to give back, like where your roots are.
So I started joining a lot of networking clubs and local chambers and the Handicrafts Association of Pakistan. I just joined as a member, and they really liked my work, and within a couple of years they offered me a chairmanship. And that's where I empower women on a daily basis, and I'm working for as long as I'm there towards women economic empowerment and sustainable livelihoods.
That is great. Can tell me how the life is changed for Pakistani women as compared to the women in UK?
Basically, those are developed countries. Obviously, there's there's no comparison. And we're a developing country, we've got our issues, our basic needs have not been met.
Yeah.
So women economic empowerment obviously takes a back seat.
Yeah.
I never thought of feminism till I came back to Pakistan. There is a huge difference. In the UK, I felt like an individual,
Yeah.
not in the frame of men or women.
Yeah.
But obviously, when you come back to Pakistan and then in KP, there
Their
is
identity is
Yes,
like
yes.
associated with their brothers
Yes.
and fathers.
yes. But my father was, a huge women empowerer.
Yeah.
I feel every woman who does well and has the journey that I've taken in my life, where I am today, I owe it all to my father,
Yes,
who
of course.
unfortunately passed away last year in November. But he never once asked me if, I was too old enough to get married, or he'd always get a sparkle in his eyes if I tell him I want to, start my own business or an office, or I want to, enroll onto a
Yeah.
degree. He would always be very encouraging. Now that I think back, I think he was a huge he was the one who encouraged me
Yeah,
to get
because
onto
we
this
like
job.
owe our successes to our father. Same like for every girl that is doing in Pakistan or somewhere else in the world, they want to give it back to their fathers.
Yes. It's
It's
always the
like-
brothers and the men of the family. If they're with the women,
Yeah.
the woman has their back, and and I think Pakistani women are so strong. We're below I think we're 57 or 58 in the women index for,
Yeah, the percentage
Yes,
according to
Yes.
like
And I think Pakistani women, लोग confuse कर देते हैं that because they look modern, so they must have. But I think every status of women in Pakistan, I think they're so strong. They have to go through so much.
yeah.
I think anything that they do, even walking outside of the house,
Yeah.
they're ready for a group of men to look at them and
So
pass
like the
comments
women
on them.
in UK are like more independent.
Very independent, and I think there's no concept of discrimination with them. Yes, that very few women are CEOs.
Yeah.
We're still too. We have had a female, I think, prime minister, but I think Pakistan had it before. So Pakistan's a very interesting country. There are bits where you really get encouraged and you see women empowerment. But yes, we have a long way to go, I
Yeah,
suppose.
sure.
Yes.
So what is your message for the women empowerment?
I think if I had to take my example, you fall a lot, and I know when you're young, you're in a hurry, and we live in the TikTok generation,
Yeah.
and the young generation wants to have results quickly. And it's a Pakistani psyche as well, but I'd just like to tell the young generation especially that, stay calm, stay focused, and nothing comes for free in life, and nothing is quick. There's nothing like quick success.
Yeah.
And be consistent. I think that is what, if you say nothing can break me, no one's words or no one's actions, I've fallen a lot, I'm going to get back up. It's not easy having that.
Yeah. You have to give yourself
yes.
self-affirmations.
So, and then with age, you become very strong. Then I think on a daily basis, women in Pakistan and in business and in, they face a lot of obstacles from their families, from their in-laws, from their immediate families, from the society in general. But I guess you have to be strong, and you have to, and the founder of 101, I think she's such a huge women empowerer. If I look at her, I think
Yes, Ma'am Zishan.
yes.
She's
So
doing great.
she thinks she can, and
She's doing it. She's putting it right in
yes,
front of
yes.
us, and we are seeing this.
And mashallah, I see your confidence, and you're doing such a good job. I think you can have a very good career in the media. So I get so happy when I see young women who are confident and who believe in themselves,
Thank
and
you
who have
so
the dignity and self-respect. That's very important.
Thank you so much. It was so great to have
Thank
you
for
here.
inviting me.
It was so informative. Thank you so much for watching us.